Welcome back to Storytime with Thisbe, featuring Yoshi and Midori. Today we're here to finish our story that we began yesterday of Disney's Lilo and Stitch. So we're going to just pick up right where we left off. The next morning, Cobra Bubbles paid them a visit. "Heard you lost your job," he said to Nanny. But before Nanny could explain, Stitch whacked Cobra with a book. As he left, Cobra told Nanny that she had to get a new job if she expected to keep Lilo. To Lilo, he said, "And next time I see this dog, I expect it to be a model citizen." So Nani set out to find a new job with Lilo and Stitch in tow. First, she went to a local grocery store. While Nani spoke to the owner, Lilo tried to teach Stitch to behave. "Elvis Presley was a model citizen," Lilo explained. "I've compiled a list of his traits for you to practice. Number 1 is dancing." Unfortunately, their dance knocked over the owner, so Nani did not get the job. Is Cobra lecturing them? Fallen over because of the job.
While Nani tried to get a job at the coffee shop, Lilo continued with Stitch's lessons. "Number 2, Elvis played the guitar," she said, as she handed Stitch a ukulele. But when Stitch played the instrument, the piercing high note shattered glass. Nani did not get the job either.
Oh.
Finally, as Nani tried to get the job as a lifeguard, Lilo prepared Stitch for his last lesson. "Time to bring it all together," she told him. Stitch began to play his ukulele. Tourists began to crowd around him to take pictures, but their cameras flashed upset Stitch. The camera flashes upset Stitch, who caused a commotion. Sorry. Nani once again did not get that job.
Oh, that's 3 jobs that were ruined by Stitch. That's really unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. Everything had gone wrong. The unhappy sisters sat down on the beach. David, a friend of Nani, saw them. To cheer them up, David suggested that they should all go surfing. The group headed towards the waves. Once she began to surf, Nani forgot all her troubles. Stitch clapped his paws, and David and Lilo laughed as they enjoyed the waves. For a little while, everybody was happy. Sometimes it's nice to forget our troubles.
But Nani, Lilo, and Stitch rode a large wave. Jumbola sneaked up behind them. Jumbola grabbed Stitch and pulled him underwater. Despair? I'm sorry.
Where are you?
Here.
Desperate.
Desperate, Stitch grabbed Lilo and began dragging her down. David and Nani pulled Lilo to safety, never noticing the aliens. Never noticing the aliens. Stitch finally won his struggle with Piccoli and Jumbola, but he was exhausted. Luckily, David went back and rescued Stitch. Back on the beach, Nani frantically checked to make sure Lilo was okay. Nani looked up to see Cobra Bubbles watching. He had seen the whole thing. Nani asked David to watch Lilo, and then Cobra quietly told Nani that although he knew she was trying, it was time to find more suitable home for Lilo.
Oh, no. Bad news. That night, Lilo studied her family photo. "Our family's little now, but if you want, you could be a part of it," she said to Stitch. Stitch really, truly wanted to belong, but he knew that he'd already caused too much trouble. While Lilo watched, Stitch took the Ugly Duckling book and climbed out the window into the night. Stitch walked into the forest. He opened the storybook to the pages that Lilo had shown him. Just like the Ugly Duckling, Stitch felt alone. "I'm lost," he cried.
The next morning, a very unhappy Grand Counselor woman fired Peekly and Jumbala, but Jumbala was pleased. Now he could capture Stitch. Soon Jumbala and Stitch in the forest found Stitch in the forest. Stitch didn't run, but he wouldn't go with Jumbly either. Waiting? Stitch told Jumbly. "For what?" Jumbly asked impatiently. "Family," replied Stitch. "You're built to destroy. You can never belong," Jumbly said. Stitch dropped the book and ran. Meanwhile, Lilo joined Nanny in the kitchen for breakfast. Stitch left. Lilo murmured sadly. Nino comforted Lilo. Now it would be harder to tell Lilo that they would be living apart. But suddenly, David burst in saying, "I think I found you a job." This was Nanny's last chance to keep Lilo. She rushed out with David, telling Lilo to stay inside and not let anyone in.
At the same time, Stitch was racing to Lilo's house with Jumba following close behind. Stitch slipped through the doggy door. Jumba crashed through the front door. Frightened, Lilo called Cobra Bubbles for help. "Aliens are attacking my house. They want my dog." Jumba and Stitch fought so hard that they destroyed the entire house. Meanwhile, Nanny got the job at the general store down the street. As she left, a fire engine shrieked past. Fearing the worst, Nanny raced home. Unfortunately, she's right.
Sadly. Cobra Bubbles was already there. Lilo was in his car. Nanny begged Cobra not to take Lilo from her. Cobra just pointed to the ruined house and shook his head. Lilo watched as the two argued. Then she slipped out of the car and into the forest. Stitch followed her. Stitch quickly found Lilo, wanting to apologize. He handed Lilo Paris scorched family photo, which he had managed to save. But Lilo was angry at Stitch. "You ruined everything!" she shouted. Lost for words, Stitch transformed himself into the alien form. Lilo finally understood. "You're one of them."
At that moment, an alien named Captain Gontu appeared. He had been sent by the Grand Councilwoman to capture Stitch. He snared both Stitch and Lilo and carried them to his spaceship. Stitch escaped, but before he could free Lilo, Gontu's ship took off. By the time Nanny arrived, she was too late. She watched as the spaceship carrying her little sister disappeared into the sky. Luckily, Stitch convinced Jumba and Pleakley to help him rescue Lilo. Soon, Nanny and the three aliens were in Jumba's spaceship battling Captain Gantu. See, I can mess up too. After a while, and a wild chase, Stitch was able to free Lilo. Jumbo landed his spaceship on the waves behind David, who was surfing at the time. David gave them all a free ride to shore on his surfboard, though it took a few trips.
He's a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
But their troubles were not over. Cobra Bubbles was waiting on the beach for Lilo, and the alien troops were waiting for Stitch. The Grand Counselor woman ordered the troops to place Stitch on their ship. Stitch asked if he could say goodbye to Lilo. The counselor woman, shocked. "This is my family," Stitch explained. "I found it all on my own. It's a little and broken, but it's still good." Then Lilo showed Stitch adoption papers to the Grand Counselor woman, and stickler of rules. She agreed to let Stitch stay on Earth with Lilo, and Cobra decided Lilo could stay with him. Jumbula and Prickly stayed on Earth too, along with David and Cobra Bubbles. They became a part of Lilo's new family, where no one ever gets left behind.
And that's the end. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Goodbye.